Everyone, welcome to Education of Excellence. Today we are starting with Economy PT 365 from April to October with a rapid speed. Stay tuned. We will be starting with our new topics. Economy. The first topic will be banking and monetary policy, and then the second topic will be finance and taxations. In this way, we will be covering the entire, but with a little or with a rapid speed as compared to the class polity. Okay, so brief glance of Indian economy. Size of economy. India is fifth largest economy by nominal GDP and third largest economy in the world by purchasing power parity. So please remember, India is the fifth largest economy in terms of nominal GDP. What is nominal GDP? So to calculate nominal GDP is basically calculated at current price, and real GDP is calculated at some base price. Okay, so nominal is along with inflation. Okay, next and third largest economy in the world by purchasing power parity after China and USA. So which is the first one? China and USA. Tax collection. Direct tax accounted for 56.72%. So the tax collection of the revenue consists of direct tax, which constitutes more, that is 56.72%. Infrastructure. India has second largest road network and largest rail network in Asia. Always remember, second largest road network and largest rail network in Asia. So these are some graphs you can see. Structural changes in employment, agriculture. As compared to 1978-2020, the agriculture level has been deteriorated. Industrial level increased, industry service increased as compared to others more. Okay, next, India's external debt. So India's external debt to GDP ratio declined to 18.7% from 19% in 2023. Okay, next component, US dollar remains largest component, followed by Indian rupee, yen and SDR. So this is our first topics. Okay, so our first topic is banking and monetary policy. Monetary policy of RBI. RBI stands for Reserve Bank of India. So RBI released the monetary policy transmission. So what is monetary policy? It is a set of actions available to a nation's central bank, RBI in India, to achieve sustainable economic growth and maintaining price stability by adjusting money supply. So everything depends on RBI as it is the issuing authority. Okay. Monetary policy transmission. It is a process through which monetary policy decision, that is policy rate changes by RBI's monetary committee, impact economic variables and price level and overall economy. So I hope everyone knows about monetary committee, who is the chairman and other members as secretary. Please have a look on this. Okay. Monetary policy framework. Central government in consultation with RBI determines inflation target in terms of consumer price index. So inflation target is basically set on the basis of consumer price index and not wholesale price index. Okay, every 5 years. I hope everyone knows the inflation targeting is 4 plus minus 2. Okay, 4 plus minus 2. So tools of monetary policy, one is quantitative and one is qualitative. So basically quantitative is that we reduce or we increase those inflation rates, or we measure those in the terms of numbers. Whereas qualitative rules like rationing of credit, regulation of credit, consumption purposes, variation of margin requirement, model suasion, and direct taxation. Whereas quantitative tools like open market operation, bank rate, cash reserve ratio, territory liquidity ratio. So these are all facts and figures. Whereas these are all qualitative. Okay, not facts and figures. So types of monetary policy, one is expansion and one is contraction monetary policy. So when expansion monetary policy is implemented, expansion monetary policy is basically implemented जब बाजार या मार्केट पे पैसा नहीं होता है या फिर मार्केट को पैसा चाहिए, तब सरकार क्या करता है, पैसा लाने के लिए एक्सपेंशन मॉनेटरी पॉलिसी प्रमोट करता है. और कॉन्ट्रैक्शन मॉनेटरी पॉलिसी कब प्रमोट करता है, जब बाजार में पैसा है, ज़्यादा पैसा है और इन्फ्लेशन ज़्यादा चल रहा है, तब सरकार क्या करेगा, बाजार से पैसा कमाने की कोशिश करेगा. ठीक है, कम करने का कोशिश करेगा. तब ये क्या करेगा, बाजार से पैसा ले लेगा. कैसे? बाय सेलिंग बॉन्ड्स. ओके, so these are some of the examples. Please look on this. Okay, next, monetary policy committee. So to please look on the monetary policy committee. So monetary policy committee's objective is maintain price stability. Members six, who are they? One is governor. Governor means governor of RBI. RBI ex officio chairman. Five other members from RBI and three appointed by the governments. So among the six members, one is governor. Then RBI is ex officio chairperson and five other members, among which two are from RBI and three are appointed by the government. So how many members are appointed by the government in the monetary policy committee? Is three appointed by the government and three from RBI itself. One is governor, RBI is ex officio chairman, and two from RBI. That is two from RBI and three appointed by the government. Okay. Okay, next. Each member has one vote. Governor exercises casting vote. See one thing. Please remember, in case of RBI's monetary committee, governor too has the capability to cast vote. Okay, meeting at least 4 times in a year. So minimum is 4 times in a year. Okay. Next, variable repo rate. So what is repo rate? Repo rate. So first of all, understand repo rate. What is repo rate? Repo rate is the rate at which RBI or central bank lends money to other commercial bank. Okay. So what is variable repo rate? Variable repo rate is a market determined rate in generally lower than the repo rate. So basically, variable repo rate depends on market rate of operation. Okay, so it is generally lower than the repo rate. When RBI wants to infuse liquidity but banks are reluctant to borrow at the repo rate due to lower marketing interest, it allows banks to borrow at variable repo rate. So now see, for example, the prevailing commercial bank wants to take money at the rate of 10%, but our existing repo rate is 12%. So in this situation, bank will not borrow. So at that time, central bank allows the commercial bank to borrow at the rate 7%. 10%, what is prevailing in the market. Okay, so it is a tool to inject short-term liquidity in the banking systems. Similarly, variable rate reverse repo is conducted to absorb the excess liquidity. So what is reverse repo rate? Reverse repo rate is that, see, what is repo rate? In case of repo rate, central bank commercial बैंक को उधार देता है पैसा, और रिवर्स रेपो ठीक उल्टा है इसका मतलब क्या होता है? जब कमर्शियल बैंक के पास ज़्यादा पैसा होता है ना, तब सेंट्रल बैंक क्या करता है? उनको एक रेट देता है, बोलता है कि आप अपना एक्सेस जो रिजर्व है वो हमारे साथ रख सकते हो। तब कमर्शियल बैंक क्या करता है? अपना एक्सेस जो लिक्विडिटी है वो सेंट्रल बैंक के साथ पार्क कर देता है। ठीक है, तब सेंट्रल बैंक उस एक्सेस लिक्विडिटी के ऊपर कमर्शियल बैंक को रिवर्स रेपो देता है। समझ में आया? ओके, नेक्स्ट, revised priority sector lending norms. Revised priority sector lending norms. So who is the authority? Revised RBI. RBI revised priority sector lending. Priority sector lending is basically the most necessary things to which money or money supply requires. Okay, to promote small loan in the economically disadvantaged districts with low average loan sizes. Incentive framework. It establishes an incentive framework for district with lower credit flow starting from financial year 2025. More weight will be given to fresh priority sector loans in district where loan availability is low. Okay, so what is priority sector lending? Priority sector means those sectors which government and RBI considers important for development of the country. These are the priority sectors. For example, it might be agriculture, it might be industry, it might be manufacturing. Okay, next, objectives to ensure the vulnerable sections of society and underdeveloped areas get access to credit. Priority sector lending was formalized in 1972. So priority sector got into formal channel in 1972. Okay. Next, priority sector lending certificate. Priority sector lending certificate are tradable certificate issued against priority sector loans of banks. Aims to enable bank to achieve the priority sector lending target by purchase of these instruments. Okay. Next category under priority sector lending. So what are these? One is agriculture. Second is MSME, micro, small and medium enterprises. Export credit, education, housing, social infrastructure, renewable energy and others. Okay. So targets, sub targets for PSL for different types of banks. So please have a look on this. Don't go into such detail. Just have a overlook. So total priority sector agriculture. Then okay, Mumbai interbank outright rates MIBOR. RBI recommended changes in the methodology for computing MIBOR and proposed transitioning to a new secured money market benchmark for popular product derivatives. Okay. So what is MIBOR? It is an interest rate benchmark used by banks to borrow unsecured funds in the Indian interbank market. So it is an interest rate benchmark used by banks to borrow unsecured funds. अब जब बैंक इनफॉर्मली कुछ लोन लेना चाहेगा तब वो मिवोर के द्वारा लेते हैं. Computed and published by Financial Benchmark India Private Limited, computed and based on trades executed negotiating dealing systems of NDS call. So London Interbank offered rates. RBI had issued an advisory to banks and other regulated entities asking them to take steps to ensure completed transition away from LIBOR. So what government promotes? Government is promoting MIBOR, not LIBOR. LIBOR is London Interbank offered rates, whereas MIBOR stands for Mumbai Interbank outright rates. So what government prefers? Government prefers MIBOR and not LIBOR. So please take into the consideration. Secured call money market. What is call money market? Call money market is a financial market. Financial institutions and bank lend and borrow funds for short-term needs. Now what happens was, for example, there is a two bank. One is say State Bank and another is say Punjab National Bank. Okay. Now for a very short period of time in a day, when a sudden the central bank या फिर Punjab National Bank faces a financial crisis. For example, say on and around 120 lakhs. Okay. सो पंजाब नेशनल बैंक के पास अब पैसा कितना कम है 120 लाख. मीन्स किसी को उसे उधार देना था तो उसके अपने पास 120 लाख अभी कम है, अभी फ़िलहाल के लिए कम है. तो वो क्या करेगा? तब वो थोड़ी ना 120 लाख के लिए आरबीआई के पास जाएगा फटाफट से, और आरबीआई फटाफट से तो देगा भी नहीं. तब ये क्या करेगा? अपने आसपास या फिर अपने जैसे जो भी पावरफुल बैंक से उनके पास एक बार रिक्वेस्ट देगा. जैसे कि फॉर एग्जांपल पंजाब नेशनल बैंक ने स्टेट बैंक को रिक्वेस्ट दिया है कि मुझे पैसा चाहिए 120 लाख, आपके पास है तो दे दीजिए. तब स्टेट बैंक क्या बोलेगा? हाँ दे देंगे. तो अगर देना है स्टेट बैंक को तो वो तो बिना कुछ लिए बिना तो देगा नहीं. तब क्या करेगा स्टेट बैंक? एक रेट ऑफ इंटरेस्ट लेगा. तो उस रेट ऑफ इंटरेस्ट को हम कहते हैं कॉल मनी मार्केट. समझ में आया? नेक्स्ट, सिक्योर्ड ओवरनाइट फाइनेंसिंग रेट. So for USA, Mumbai modified interbank forward overnight rates MIFOR, India Shanghai interbank offered rates SHIBOR, and in China and Tokyo interbank offered rates is TBOR. Financial Benchmark Private Limited is a private limited company under the Companies Act 2013 and Financial Benchmark India Limited regulated by Reserve Bank of India. Next, RBI surplus transfer. RBI surplus transfer. So one thing, don't take into consideration Financial Benchmark India Private Limited as your Indian stock market. Okay, if it is a stock market, then it will be regulated by Security Exchange Board of India, SEBI. And since it is not, so it is regulated by RBI, Reserve Bank of India. Next is RBI surplus transfer. So okay, I hope everyone knows what is the other name of RBI surplus. RBI surplus transfer. The other name of RBI surplus transfer is seniorage. Seniorage. Please remember and look at it. Seniorage. Okay. So surplus implies excess of income over expenditures. RBI total expenditure is only about 1/7 of its total net interest income. So RBI's total expenditure is 1/7 of its total net income earned. Okay, so 6/7 is the earning. So next, RBI's income and expenditure. So please have a look. You can write along with it. 1/7 is the expenditure and 6/7 is the income of RBI. Next, RBI's income and expenditure. RBI's income comes from, for example, say rupee securities, liquidity adjustment facility, and marginal standing facility. RBI's expenditure, for example, say kept for unforeseen contingencies, means any reserves kept for contingencies, या फिर in an investment in subsidiaries or printing of notes, agency charges. These are. Next is ways and means of advances scheme. Ways and means advances scheme. So what is this? So Reserve Bank of India has increased the ways and means advance scheme limit of state UTs to 60,108 crore from existing 47,010 crore. So ways and means advances, the definition: advances to a state or UTs provided by RBI to meet temporary mismatch in the cash flows of receipts and payment are known as ways and means advances. So many a times we see the balance of payment does not get matched. So in this situation, what they does, they take loans to meet those mismatches. So this is called ways and means advances. Okay, and ways and means advances provided by RBI. Types: normal ways and means advances and special ways and means advances, now known as special drawing facility. First, a state or UT is provided with a special ways and means advances after its exhaustion. It gets a normal ways and means advances. So see, normal ways and means advances is that special drawing facility when you can find is that, for example, say every bank has some reserves. They keep some reserves. They keep some reserves with the bank. They keep some reserves with the central bank or RBI, Reserve Bank of India. So at the time of crisis, for example, say in crisis situation, for example, say we take a bank, consider say Punjab National Bank. Okay, so Punjab National Bank ने क्या किया, हर साल वो क्या करता है 1 करोड़ और 5 करोड़ रिजर्व रखता है सेंट्रल बैंक के साथ, मीन्स आरबीआई के साथ। अब क्या हुआ, अचानक से कोरोना के टाइम पे क्या हुआ, उसको इतना क्राइसिस आया कि उसको आरबीआई से लोन लेना पड़ा या फिर अपने ही रिजर्व से लेना पड़ा। तब आरबीआई क्या करेगा, उसका जो रिजर्व था ना उसी से वहाँ से उसे दे देगा। तो इसका मतलब क्या है, स्पेशल ड्रॉइंग राइट्स। दिस इज कॉल्ड स्पेशल ड्रॉइंग राइट्स। ओके, अब नॉर्मल वेज इन मीन्स एडवांस कब आता है, जब उसने अपना जितना जमा हुआ पैसा सेंट्रल बैंक से ले लिया है ना, जितने भी पकड़ लो हर साल जितना भी करके जमा करता हो वो सब लेके उसने ख़त्म कर लिया, रिजर्व गॉट फिनिश्ड। अब जब वो फिर से लेना चाहेगा ना आरबीआई से, तब आरबीआई क्या करेगा, अपना उसका तो फंड खत्म हो गया तो वो अपने फंड से देगा ना, तब हम उसे कहते हैं नॉर्मल वेज इन मीन्स एंड एडवांसेस। तब वो रेट लगाएगा, इंटरेस्ट रेट लगाएगा। ठीक है, अगर अपना ही पैसा से ले रहा है तो इंटरेस्ट रेट उतना नहीं मिलेगा या फिर देगा नहीं। ठीक है, नेक्स्ट, इंटरेस्ट रेट लिंक्स टू रेपो रेट। आई हैव ऑलरेडी अंडरस्टूड what is I've already made understood what is repo rate. Okay, special drawing facility is the special drawing facility against the reserves or overdraft facility, or everyone you know overdraft facility. So these are governed by RBI Act 1934. So special drawing facility C, availed by the state against the collateral or consolidated sinking fund, guaranteed redemption fund, and action treaty. CSF and GRF are the reserve fund maintained by some states with the RBI. So I said that these are some reserves they maintain with the RBI, and against those reserves on the loan they take loan is known as special drawing facility. And if the reserve get exhausted at that time, RBI lends them at normal drawing facility. Next is overdraft facility. I hope everyone knows this is credit deposit ratio. So what is credit deposit ratio? Credit deposit ratio is a financial metric representing the percentage of loan a bank has issued related to its total deposit. So credit deposit is that, डिपॉजिट का मतलब क्या होता है, बैंक के पास कितना पैसा लोगों का जमा हुआ है। ठीक है, और क्रेडिट का मतलब क्या होता है, बैंक ने कितना लोन दिया है। तो बैंक के लोन अगेंस्ट डिपॉजिट जितना दिया है उसका रेशियो हमको, उसका नाम क्या है, क्रेडिट डिपॉजिट रेशियो। मीन्स बैंक ने कितना लोन दिया है और उसके पास कितना डिपॉजिट है, इन दोनों का रेशियो जो है, उन दोनों का रेशियो हम जब निकालते हैं उसे कहते हैं क्रेडिट डिपॉजिट रेशियो। Next is financial inclusion index. Reserve Bank of India has announced the financial inclusion index has risen to 64.2 in March from 60.1 in March 2023. So please remember financial inclusion index. Who releases financial inclusion index, or who announced financial inclusion index? It is Reserve Bank of India. So don't get mismatched on this. It is Reserve Bank of India which releases financial inclusion index, and it got improved from March 2023 to March 2024 on an around by 4%, 4.2. So it is a comprehensive index incorporating details of banking, investment, insurance, postal, as well as the pension sector. It captures the extent of financial inclusion across the country. Next, Reserve Bank Integrated Ombudsman Scheme. So what do you mean by ombudsman? Resolution of grievances. Okay. So RBI releases annual report of the ombudsman scheme 2022 to 23, the first standalone report under the Reserve Bank of India. So this is the first time that the government, Reserve Bank of India, released annual report of the ombudsman scheme. So first of all, we have to know what is everyone knows about alternate grievance redressal mechanism. So this is only a part of this. Okay. So appointment of ombudsman. RBI may appoint one or more of its officers as ombudsman and deputy ombudsman for tenure not exceeding 3 years at a time. So whatever the ombudsman appoints get appointed for 3 years at a time. Okay. Next is omnibus framework for recognizing self-regulatory organizations for regulated entities. Reserve Bank of India finalized omnibus framework for recognizing self-regulatory organizations for regulated entities. So what are those? Objectives of SRO. Self-regulated organizations for regulated entities include promotion, compliance, culture, and support of smaller entities, acts as a collaborative collective voice of members and sectoral collect information and encourage R&D culture. So it is just like a store of information, nothing else. Eligibility: a SRO shall be set up as a not-for-profit company registered under Section 8 of the Companies Act 2013. So it is a non-profit organization. Next, what is universal bank? RBI sets eligibility rate for small finance bank to transit into universal banking under one tap licensing. So what is universal? Universal banks is a bank that offer a wide range of financial services beyond commercial banking and investment banking such as insurance. So यूनिवर्सल बैंक इज देयर. यूनिवर्सल बैंक मतलब क्या है? बैंक जब सब कुछ प्रोवाइड कर सकता है, सब कुछ का मतलब क्या है? एक्सेप्ट apart from accepting deposits and lending loans, it also provides insurance services. It also provides various other services like apart from banking sector, whatever the service that is provided. Okay, so at that time a bank is considered as universal bank, but it is not on their wish. It is they can perform all these functions on the basis of licensing. So it is introduced in 2016. So next, so eligibility for small financial banks to transition into universal bank is that they should have a minimum net worth is 1000 crore. They should have a minimum net worth is 1000 crore. There must be scheduled banks with a satisfactory track record of performance for a minimum of 5 years. Their financial health, that is financial profitability, they should have net profit in the last 2 financial years. Okay. So non-performing assets, gross non-performing and net performing assets must be less than or equal to 3% and 1% respectively. So their non-performing assets should be these. Okay, they should have a minimum net of 1000 crore. Satisfactory track record for a minimum of 5 years. Okay, so this is some eligibility criteria for small finance bank to get transformed into to get an universal bank. Okay, so this is the registration, genesis, registration, licensing, capital requirement, and adjusted bank rate. Urban cooperative banks. RBI asks urban cooperative to stop the practice of setting up a dividend equalization fund. So what is dividend equalization fund? First of all, dividend equalization fund are set up by urban cooperative through appropriation of profit to pay dividends in future years when profits are insufficient or the banks has posted a net loss. So what is the dividend equalization fund? See, फॉर एग्जाम्पल से इस साल कोई भी XYZ कोऑपरेटिव बैंक से उसने क्या किया है? कोऑपरेटिव बैंक का मतलब क्या था? कुछ लोग एक साथ आते हैं, आके एक बैंक खुलते हैं अपने ही फ़ायदे के लिए. तो तब क्या हुआ? पकड़ लो, कोरोना के पहले साल क्या हुआ था, बैंक को बहुत लाभ हुआ था, ठीक है। तो बैंक ने जितना भी प्रॉफिट किया था, उस प्रॉफिट में से उसने तो डिविडेंड दिया है, और कुछ प्रॉफिट में से उसने कुछ रिजर्व करके रख दिया, ताकि अगर कहीं पे भी लॉस हो तो वो डिविडेंड दे सके। तो उसने क्या किया, 2014 को उसने प्रॉफिट किया था, 2014 को उसने प्रॉफिट किया था, ठीक है। सो 2014 में से प्रॉफिट 14 के प्रॉफिट में से उसने डिविडेंड दिया, और उन प्रॉफिट में से फिर से उसने प्रॉफिट डिविडेंड देने के लिए, अगले साल डिविडेंड देने के लिए उसने कुछ रिजर्व भी रख दिया, ठीक है। 2015 को क्या हुआ, असल में तो बैंक को लॉस हुआ, पर बैंक ने क्या किया, डिविडेंड दिया। कहाँ से दिया, 2014 वाले डिविडेंड से। सो ये है आपका डिविडेंड इक्वलाइजेशन फंड। सो बैंक अब क्या बोल रहा है, अब आरबीआई बोल रहा है कि नहीं, ये आप नहीं कर पाओगे, distinctly prohibits making such payment from previously accumulated profits or reserves. Okay. Next, RBI also permitted in urban cooperative bank to transfer the money in the DEF to general reserve free reserves to provide better treatment of these balances for regulated capital purposes. Okay. So RBI इन सब को करने पे इनकार कर रहा है, प्रोहिबिट कर रहा है। So ये ऐसा नहीं कर पाओगे आप, कहीं किसी साल का प्रॉफिट किसी साल दे रहे, ऐसा नहीं हो पाएगा। सो अर्बन कोऑपरेटिव बैंक्स में भी कुछ कैटेगराइजेशन है, जैसे कि टायर 1, टायर 2, टायर 3, टायर 4। ओके। सो यूनिट कोऑपरेटिव बैंक्स एंड सैलरी अर्नर्स यूसीबी एंड ऑल अप टू दिस बी द डिपॉजिट्स might be up to 100 crore, then 100 crore and up to 1000 crore. This is something tier 2. Tier 3 is 1000 crore to 10,000 crore, and tier 4 is more than 10,000 crore. Okay. They are operating under Banking Regulation Act 2020, gives RBI power to supersede it. Okay. Next, ease of expansions and NUCFDC. What is that? National Urban Cooperative Finance and Development Corporation Limited is an umbrella organization for the UCBs, urban cooperative banks. So, what is the umbrella organizations for urban cooperative banks? It is NUCFDC. NUCFDC, National Urban Cooperative Finance Development Corporation Limited. It is an umbrella organization for all urban cooperative banks. Next, prompt corrective actions framework for the primary urban cooperative UCBs. So, what are the prompt corrective actions? You can see. So, for example, if you look, so what is the objectives? So, RBI issued prompt corrective for primary urban cooperative. So, what is the objective? To address the financial health of the urban cooperative with a greater precision and flexibility. कब इम्प्लीमेंट किया, कब से इम्प्लीमेंट हो गई है, अप्रैल 1, 2025 से। ओके। Next, going to the next is 50 years of Indian microfinance sector. 50 years of Indian microfinance sector. So what is it? It offers financial service like small value loans to marginalized and poor individuals. But you always remember that the small finance bank always charges, if a microfinance always charges interest a little bit more than the nationalized and the commercial bank. Okay. They provide collateral free loans. What is collateral free loan? That does not take any security. Okay. So this is all about collateral free loans. So see, microfinance institutions usually charges higher interest rate. Background from where this microfinance or self-employed women association bank came into being from Muhammad Yunus of Bangladesh. Okay. Next, RBI is the regulatory body of microfinance institution operating in India. So what are the initiatives taken by the government to support these are Pradhan Mantri Mudra Yojana, recognition of self-regulatory organizations, harmonized SHG bank linkage program initiated by the NABARD. Next, non-banking financial company. Reserve Bank of India banned non-banking financial company from granting loans exercising its power under the Section 41 of the Reserve Bank of India. So see, non-banking financial company, they are banks who cannot function as a bank. Means they cannot accept deposit, they cannot lend or issue checks. Okay, but they can take part in infrastructure facilities. For example, say a big project which requires 1,000 crore. In this situation, they can lend, but they cannot accept deposits. Okay, so it is a company registered in 1950 April, mainly engage in lending activities. So engage in lending activities. So regulation, Ministry of National Housing Bank, SEBI, Insurance Regulatory and Development Authority, state governments regulates cheat fund companies or regulates housing. So National Housing Bank regulates housing finance companies. SEBI regulates merchant bankers, venture capital funds companies, stock exchange, stock brokers, sub brokers. Insurance regulate insurance companies. State government regulates cheat fund. Ministry of Corporate Affairs. Remember, Ministry of Corporate Affairs regulates needy companies. Okay. Ministry of Corporate Affairs regulates needy companies. Next, needy company are also some kind of small finance, microfinance. Okay, what is the difference between banks and NBFCs? I hope everyone knows. So please have a look on those. Mm. Next was non-performing assets. Non-performing RBI financial stability highlights achievements in non-performing assets. So RBI's biannual financial stability report. In a year, RBI comes out with 2 times the financial stability report. So what is that? We saw the non-performing rates deteriorating. Yes or no? So ratio fell to multi-year loss 2.8 to 0.6%. Yes. So next, steps taken to reduce non-performing assets are what are those? SARFAESI Act, Insolvency and Bankruptcy Code, National Asset Reconstruction Company, Prabha Portal, RBI revised NPA provision from norms for cooperative banks. Classification of non-performing assets. So this is some of the tax steps taken by the government. So see, first of all, how we will categorize the classification of NPS, non-performing assets. So see, when we declare loss assets, if it is not fully written off, not fully written off means we have not declared it as bad debts. Substandard assets, which is substandard assets, asset classified substandard for up to 12 months. If up to 12 months anything has not happened against this transaction, then this categorized substandard. And doubtful assets if it moves over 12 months. Okay. Co-lending. The Finance Ministry has asked the State Bank to form a committee to tackle co-lending issues. Now, what is co-lending? It is an arrangement where multiple lenders partner to provide loans to borrowers. For example, say a borrower, for example, who is trying to receive or trying to borrow money, for example, 1,000 crores. Now, Punjab National Bank is not able to take risks of providing 1,000 crores at a time. So, what it has done? It has collabed with the other banks. For example, say Axis Bank and other various types of banks, and then they provide 1,000. So this is called co-lending. Okay. So banks are not allowed to enter into co-lending arrangements with an NBFC belonging to the promoter group. So they cannot collab with non-banking financial company. What is willful defaulters? Willful defaulters is that who makes default in payment willfully. Okay. So who are categorized willful defaulter? Willful default with outstanding amount 25 lakhs and above. Willful defaulter occurs when borrower defaults in meeting payment. So these are all related to RBI cases. Insolvency and Bankruptcy Code. IBBI issued a new guidelines streamlining the process for appointment of insolvency professionals. So next is Asset Reconstruction Company. We have seen Asset Reconstruction Company. It is basically non-performing, a part of a non-performing asset. These are the financial institutions which purchases the non-performing assets of banks and then they recover those assets. Okay, so this is Asset Reconstruction Company. Mandate. What is the mandate? Every bank has a mandate to maintain a capital adequacy ratio of a minimum 15%. What is the capital adequacy ratio? A minimum of 15%. Please remember. Household saving rate are categorized as financial saving and then decline in financial savings and physical savings. So with this we come to the end of the first section. Before completing, I just like to highlight a point: factors influencing household saving rates. So what are the factors on which the household saving rate depends?